Hey y'all! So, if you guys are returning back to my channel, then you guys will know that I haven't had this handy little microphone in a couple of my past videos. I'm so sorry for the inconvenience. I know my audio quality has not been up to par. And that is completely, well, I wouldn't say it's my fault because my mics did just kind of die on me out of nowhere. And it's been a while since I actually was able to replace them. So, anyways, long story short, we were able to replace the mics, and hopefully they are up to par, they're good quality. And yeah, so we're just gonna get straight into today's video. 500 subscribers special. I hit 500 subscribers. So happy. This is a milestone. I believe in celebrating all the small milestones as well as the big ones. And as you guys know, one of the big ones is hitting 1,000 subscribers, because if you guys don't know, on YouTube you need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours in order to be monetized, and that is my goal. And I set a goal to hit that in basically within a year, and we're nearing that year mark, because I started my first video. I think I filmed my first video in July of last year, 2024, about 2 months after my daughter was born. So we're almost there. So this is a Q&A. I actually went to my Instagram and posted an Instagram story, and asked my followers over there if they had any questions for me, and I told them that I was going to be filming a Q&A. What is she doing? I was going to be filming a Q&A video. Unfortunately, no one was having it. No one answered. Crickets. And then I went over to Lemonade, because my Lemonade audience is a little bit more loyal. They're a little bit more real and nice. So I thought I'd actually get some responses. Crickets over there too. So I was like, okay, I guess nobody wants to know about me and ask about my questions. But for the people who maybe do want to know, and are new to my channel, and honestly, the people who aren't new to my channel, I haven't really been able to give too many answers so far in my videos about myself. So diving in a little bit more deeper of a level, we're just gonna get right into that today. So what I ended up doing instead was pulling a bunch of random questions online, kind of just looked up get to know me tag, and I have those questions pulled up in my notes on my iPad, and I'm just going to be answering some of those questions since nobody wanted to ask any original questions for me. But that's okay. I promise I don't feel salty. I kind of do, but anyways, here we are. So, first question, what time do you go to bed? This is a little bit interesting, but I'll answer it. So I really don't have a specific sleep schedule or anything. I kind of just go to bed when I'm tired. Um, because I am a mom, I will say that I go to sleep way earlier than I did in the past. I used to go to sleep like 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. Me and my bestie, we were really bad with our sleep schedule. Like our, what is it called? Circadian rhythm was off. It was off. Like we were waking or going to sleep at 5 a.m., waking up at like 1 p.m. But now, since having a child, I go to sleep way earlier. I will say it's still not as early as most people probably go to sleep, who like goes to like work and has a working job. I'm a stay-at-home mom, so I'm a student, but I'm a stay-at-home mom, so I can kind of tweak my own schedule. And I basically go to sleep at like 12 a.m. to 1 a.m. So that is early for me. As I said before, I went to sleep way at an unreasonable time, but now that's about the time that I go to sleep, and then I wake up around like 10 a.m. We used to wake up a little bit earlier, but now my baby kind of sleeps in, so I'm able to sleep in, so I love her for that. How would I rate my childhood on a scale from 1 to 10? So this is a really interesting question. I think that on a scale from 1 to 10, I would rate my childhood a 7. I think I was raised with really good morals. I have Christian parents, so they instilled a lot of those beliefs into me. I had a lot of structure in my household. I was really like educated, because both of my parents are teachers. Education kind of just runs in my veins, and they made sure to really educate us on all topics, with school and just like worldviews and all of that. The reason why I take 3 points off of my childhood is just because I will say that I did grow up with a single mom up until the age of 10. And although that was good and everything, like I don't remember times being rough or anything like that. But I did at times really wish that I had siblings, and my siblings that I do have are my half siblings that live with my dad. So I didn't really see them too much unless it was like a summer break or something. So I was really just like by myself at home. And it wasn't until my mom got married to my stepfather where I then had three older brothers that came into the picture. And now all of a sudden I had three brothers and I was the only girl. So, issues that come with that. And although my prayers were answered and the fact that I had siblings, they were all boys. I didn't have a sister. But my best friend is kind of like my sister. She really is. So it was honestly like, there was some cons to that, but mostly pros, and mostly I think I had a really good childhood. So I grew up playing sports. I played soccer from the age of 4, and I basically played it up until my senior year of high school. Technically, my freshman year of college as well. It wasn't an official team, but it was like a club that we had there. So I played soccer for about 16 years of my life, and I really, really loved the sport. Hopefully, my daughter wants to be a soccer player. I also did track in high school, well, middle school and high school. I did track grade 7, 8th, 10th, and then so 3 years I did track for those 3 years. By 11th grade I was kind of just like, I'm over this, like this is too much, like on top of everything else that I'm doing. Next question: what is your middle name? So this is a good question because this actually ties into my channel and my branding, or whatever you want to call it. My middle name is Divine, hence my name on all platforms, Serenity Divine. So obviously my first name is Serenity and my middle name is Divine. So, you know, props to my mom and my dad for giving me that name because I think it's really unique, it's really pretty, and it makes for a really good little channel name. So, what are my favorite values and friends? So, my favorite values and friends, and I'm kind of just going to be basing this off of my best friend that I've had since the 8th grade. um we kind of do everything together, not so much anymore. Obviously we're living a little bit different lives at this point in time, but we were like this. And guys, when I mean we were like this, I mean we were locked in. We were at with each other at all times, like conjoined to the hip. Like wherever Serenity is, Courtney is. Like we were like that. And we did soccer together. We were on the same soccer team. Even when we weren't on the same soccer team, we were wishing we were on the same soccer team. We were in the same law academy at our school. We would go into each other's classrooms. Even when we didn't have that class, we would kind of just like, if we had a free period, we just go and sit in the other person's class. So much so that my senior year of high school, I had an extra period and I just sat in her digital media class, and somehow I ended up taking digital media as a class. Like for real, I just like signed up for it because I'm like, you know what, why not? I have a free period, and I like this class sitting in here, so I might as well just be a part of it. Like we were like that. And one of the best qualities of my best friend is her motivation. She's very much motivated in life. A lot of the same, it helps that a lot of the things that I was interested in, she was also interested in, but she really, really helped me to get me to the places that I went because she really was motivated and helping us together get to where we needed to be. So, like, when it was time for applying for colleges, she made sure she knew everything that she needed to know about colleges, and so by proxy, so did I. She made sure I had my stuff together when I wasn't so motivated to do it. Together, we were really like unstoppable. We were really like a dynamic duo that was able to accomplish anything because of that. And that's one of the qualities that I really love about her. Even to this day, she was able to graduate early, get her degree. I would have been on that track as well, obviously, had I not been pregnant, but she was always like the trailblazer for both of us. And she would do things and it would make me comfortable to also do those things because she was my living proof and example of how to achieve things in such a successful way. And I'm still in awe at how she's able to be so put together and qualified for her age. She always has been like that, and really, really well spoken and well educated. Everything she's inspired me so much. Honestly, so much. What is my favorite memory from high school? So I really love this one. I think I would have to say that my favorite memory from high school, senior year, there was a lot of stuff going on senior year. If you guys haven't already watched my story time video about these racist classmates up in Georgia woods or whatever, I'm gonna pop it up right here. Just go ahead and watch it. That one is definitely one for the books. Very much scarred me forever. But anyways, that was really much a big damper on our senior year. So one thing that I actually really loved about senior year was, regardless of all that happening and all that drama and stuff, we still made the best of it, and we still had so many fun memories from senior year. One of my favorite memories was we had different parking lots. There was like the junior parking lot in the back of the school, and there was a senior parking lot in the front of the school, and then there was this thing called the overflow parking lot where our friends intentionally parked because we just liked parking over there a little bit away from the school. It was like across the street a little bit, and we would park our cars all next to each other in like a little line. It was like a little family. We would always have our cars like right next to each other, and so after school, well, we would meet up there before school and walk over sometimes together if we actually got there around the same time, because sometimes I was late, sometimes Courtney was late, but you know. And then our other friends as well. And then after school we would all go over to like just a little place. Like, we had a Wendy's right by our school, so we would like all hop in one person's car and then drive to the Wendy's and just sit in there and talk, or we would just sit in the parking lot for hours and just talk after school. We would go over to this little taco place that was across the street, which sadly I heard they like shut down, so that's really sad. But we had the best memories after school, just hanging out with each other senior year, and just really taking in the fact that, you know, we were gonna not really be there too much longer in high school, and really soaking that in. And so that was really fun. I got my car senior year like in December for like Christmas, so that was really fun for me as well, because it was my first time kind of just being free and having a car and experiencing all of that, where all my other friends, they got their cars in like junior year. So I was really excited to finally be a part of that little car. Like, yeah, we're free, you know what I mean? What is your favorite holiday? So I feel like this one's a no-brainer. I feel like for most people and a lot of Christians, Christmas is your favorite holiday. Like, Christmas is just such a vibe. Like, and it's not just Christmas Day, it's the whole season leading up to Christmas. My birthday is also in Christmas time. Now, I don't know if this is the question later. If it is, I'll just skip it. But my birthday is December 5th, 2003, which makes me 21 years old, which is a big highlight of my channel. You know, I almost have a 1-year-old and I'm 21. So that's such an interesting life. I'm still in school. So yeah, no, my birthday is December 5th. So 20 days before Christmas. And that's another part that I like about the season. It's just so much like nice going on. My mom's birthday is December 14th, so you know, I'm like a week and 2 days before her, and it's just the atmosphere of the joy and like the gratefulness of Christmas all together. I really like it. I also like decorating. I feel like, who doesn't? I love gift giving. It's a newfound passion of mine. As you know, as I got older and I actually had like money to give people gifts, I really, really love gift giving. So that's the perfect holiday for that. This was a little interesting, and this is, what is my best trait? So like, I don't know. I feel like people are better at answering this question for me than like I am myself. But if I were to say like, what is my best trait myself, I would have to say my persuasiveness, and not in like a manipulative way or anything like that, but just like in terms of, because I want to be a lawyer. That's something that I've briefly mentioned and I want to do, and I want to go to law school and all of that. So I think that it's a really good trait to have when you have people who, not necessarily you want them to just agree with everything that you have to say, but just to get them to see the world in a different perspective and to respect like other people's opinions. It's really important to know how to communicate effectively to who you're talking to. It's not always going to be the same thing based off of every person that you meet. Everyone's different, and there's different ways to approach situations. So I would say that it's that I'm persuasive but also understanding, and those two qualities combined helps me to really effectively communicate to all sorts of people and really just get to know people on a different level as well. So that's what I would say my best qualities are, but I'm sure if you ask my friends or my family, they might say something else. So I don't know. What is an interesting fact about me? Okay, so I would say an interesting fact about me is that I'm allergic to quite a few things. I've grown out of a lot of my childhood allergies, but some of the allergies that I still have to this day is shellfish and tree nuts, which is very interesting. I need an EpiPen for the shellfish allergy, so that's pretty bad. And then tree nuts is a little bit like, it's just like I probably will get like a rash or my itchy throat or something, but it's not as severe as the shellfish allergy. But those are things that I think is an interesting fact about me. Yeah, I have some food allergies. So yeah, what is the first thing you notice about people? So I would say the first thing that I notice about people when I meet them is their overall aura or energy. So and like how our energies, I guess, connect and coincide together. So for example, if I'm meeting a new person, I can probably pretty much immediately tell if we are able to vibe and carry out a conversation just upon meeting them and having a couple exchanges from them. Sometimes I could be wrong in what I initially thought, but for the most part, I'm pretty like accurate on if we're able to actually get along quite well. And that's nothing to mean like the other person isn't good or they have bad energy, but it just means that we might not be, the bestest of friends or just people who would naturally vibe together. What is your favorite piece of clothing? So I think this is pretty interesting. So if you were to ask me this question when I was in high school, I would say jeans. I like asked my best friend every single time that I was in the store. We'd probably be in like Ross or something. I would always go straight for the jeans. I had so many jeans. Guys, I literally had like 30 plus pair of jeans just in my closet, and I recently started to get like rid of them slowly over time. I still have a few that I need to get rid of, but so much so to the point where I had to actively stop buying jeans because I really had a bad like just obsession with having jeans, and I don't really know what it is about jeans, but I really love jeans. Now, I would say my favorite piece of clothing would have to be sets. I'm really into sets recently, mostly because it's the easiest thing to just kind of throw on and make it seem like you're put together. Like right now, I'm not wearing a set, but I'm wearing like a one piece romper that's pink and then another pink item. And so it looks really put together, even though it's not really much that I had to do, not really much thought that I had to put into it. So sets allow me to do that as well. So I would have to say that's my favorite piece of like clothing item at the moment. Did you go to college? So we've touched on this a few times at this point. Yes, I did go to college and I still am in college. I should have graduated this spring, like right after, right now. I should have been graduating. Because I was a year ahead because I did take dual enrollment in high school, and so this would have been my time to graduate right now. But as the story goes, I did get pregnant and it did bring me behind in school just because it was really hard to keep up with school like when I got pregnant during that time, and I was like throwing up and sick every day. I couldn't show up to class. This is when I was still like on campus. It was really hard. So like two of my classes I had to drop and just pull out of, and then 2 semesters ago, so not the one after that, because the one after that where I was kind of just pregnant and online, I did really good that semester. But then the one after that, the following fall semester, so this past fall semester, um really bad. My mom had a health situation in the hospital. It really mentally broke me, and I was just not up to doing school at that point in time. I was really like not altogether. It was like having to deal with a little baby and then also my mind just being like on my mom, and I wasn't living in the house with her at that time, so it was a lot of stress going on. And so needless to say, I had to drop from those classes as well. So constantly having to drop from classes like as you're actively taking them, it sucks because like it feels like, okay, well, I just went through all of this thinking that I'm going to be on track, and then I have to take out, and then be on track, and then take out. So basically we're just constantly like taking 2 steps forward and then taking 2 steps back. So it's pushed me back to a point where I haven't really progressed that much since I pulled out of being in person. So I've slowly made progress with like, woo, woo, sorry, there's a some sort of bug. I've slowly made progress with school, and so that sucks. But we're inching forward, you know. In my mind, as long as I'm trying to still reach for that degree, and once again, like I was ahead in school already, so my actual graduation year, like according to the year that I graduated high school, which was 2022, would mean that I would be graduating in 2026. So realistically, I technically am, where I would have been had I not been a year ahead. But knowing that I was a year ahead and knowing that I would have been graduated like right now, it is like somewhat of a bummer thinking about that. And it's something that I really stressed about just because I wanted to just be over and done with school, especially now that I have a child, because I just want to have my degree and get a job and just thrive. But I'm not able to do that because I'm still a student and I don't have a job, and I have to take care of my baby, because obviously we can't afford child care services at this point in time. So I'm kind of just being the child care person. Obviously, she's my daughter, but people have daycare and put them in those things, and they're able to focus on their work or their school. But I have to do both. So unfortunately, it's really hard to actually help me to be able to get things done and graduate on time. But that we're still in the works of that whole journey, and hopefully by next spring I will be good and graduated at 22, which is the age that everyone graduates at. Well, if you're on the normal track, so it's really not that, it's not that bad. How long was your longest relationship? So this is an interesting question. I was only in one other relationship before my current relationship, with my boyfriend and the father of my child, and that relationship lasted about 7 months. But what I will say is, in that relationship, I was kind of mentally over it before I actually did break up with my partner. Yeah. So in my mind, that relationship didn't even last 7 months. It was way done. And, a lot of things of like what he did, and that's why I kind of was like feeling like that. I didn't really feel like we were actually dating because of like, okay, we're not going to get into that, okay? Maybe in another video or something, but let me just say, like, I was mentally over that relationship way before it even ended, which wasn't even that long. So this is my longest relationship. We're going on, ooh, guys, sorry for that. I had to do some quick math because I honestly don't even know how long we've been dating, because it's just been a lot with us because obviously we're parents as well. So we've been dating for a year and 8 months. Okay, y'all, so I'm going to have to cut this video short. Unfortunately, my baby is kind of yelping in the background. If you guys would like me to answer any more questions and you guys actually want to respond this time, then you can comment down below, leave me some questions. I will answer them in maybe a future Q&A video, or just like at the end of one of my vlogs or something like that. So anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. I'm probably going to leave this video up as like the intro video to my channel if anyone new comes along, or if you guys ever want to revisit this video just to know more about me. But thank you guys so much for 500 subscribers. I'm pushing it so strong to 1,000, hoping that I reach it sometime by the year mark in July. Make sure to subscribe if you aren't already, and like this video. Bye, y'all.
Now when they see us in the streets, all they wanna do is take pics, and I'm like, okay.